I think most people watching this video or watching the stream already know you, but if this was like a TED Talk or something like that, how would you introduce yourself?
Oh man. I guess just like a freelance 3D artist, 3D animator, that sort of thing. I just kind of make random stuff. Most of my work is just scattered throughout YouTube. I've worked. I would assume the Peepo stuff is probably not the first time people have saw stuff from me, but what they did see, they wouldn't know was from me.
What's your background like? How did you get so good at 3D animation?
I'm doing miscellaneous stuff. Like I said, I've done a ton of stuff with other YouTubers before.
Mhm.
Some small, some pretty big. But just doing random 3D stuff. I started out as a hobby, but I made stuff, I posted it, people see it, they contact you to they want to work with you, and then kind of just builds from there. But all of it's just from messing around, really. No formal training or anything like that.
Interesting. That's awesome. Who were some of the first people that you started working for?
The first big YouTuber I did stuff for, and I did stuff with him for a long time, like 2 years. I was CaptainSparklez. I have probably 200 or 300 animations on his channel. Um,
Wow.
yeah, for like 2 years, I did these like weekly animated shorts. That's where a lot of the practice came in because I did those like that was a full-time job for like 2 years.
Wow. That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so
That's
that's why I said most people wouldn't know, but if they've seen one of those videos, it's just not the same guy. But
cool,
yeah.
cool. So, where do you see yourself going with your animations? Do you want to sort of keep doing your freelance thing, or do you want to move up to some sort of larger production scale, or do YouTube, or?
Yeah, I've always liked doing my own thing. Sometimes they're fun, but oftentimes doing commissions for other people or commissions or just a job for other people just isn't as fun as doing your own thing. I like those people at videos were probably the most fun I've had on a project like ever, especially the second one when all the hype was kind of built up.
Right.
So I want to keep doing stuff like that. I'd like to do something bigger. I have my sights set on some pretty big ideas. I don't know how much I'll be able to manage, but yeah, it would be doing stuff on my own rather than with a team or working somewhere.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And I think like now's the best time to be doing stuff like that. YouTube is like such a ripe space for content creation like yourself. Like the interview, I don't know if you watched it, the interview I did with my friend Joel Haver, and he does animations on his channel now as well, and he recently blew up because of them. And so it seems just more viable than ever to make a career out of making internet content, you know?
Yeah, and I saw his video on the process of that, and him just talking about how technology has enabled someone like him as an individual to do stuff like that rather than having to have a whole team. So yeah, the YouTube plus the technology side of things has gotten so much better. It really is easier to just like do your own thing.
Yeah. What do you use to do your 3D animation?
I do it all inside of Maya, so it's the same tool set that's used at the bigger studios, but there's nothing stopping from your random average Joe from using it.
Yeah, yeah. I think they give away a lot of their software for free, or at least let you use it for free to get started, right?
Yeah, they have like a student side of thing.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to use it commercially if you're using it for free, but for learning and stuff, yeah, it's great.
Right, right. So moving into the conversation about like Twitch and stuff like that, when did you first discover Twitch?
Um, I watched it. I was on Twitch a little bit in like 2014 for like a short period of time. It didn't really stick with me until like 2, 3 years later. I just for some reason all of a sudden maybe I was too young and my attention span was too short for Twitch streams. But it wasn't until like 2016, 17 until I like watched Twitch a lot.
Who are you watching the most right now? Actually, hold on, before I ask that question, who did you watch in the beginning?
It was the only reason I went on that website was it's CaptainSparklez. So this was actually before I started doing stuff with him. I was just a fan of his. He did this My Night series, and him and a couple other YouTubers they streamed it on Twitch, and that's what introduced me to Twitch. So that's what I watched back then was just this like specific series was the only thing I watched on there. And then nowadays, I mostly just watch XQC, obviously. Force and Hikaru. I've gotten into the chess thing that's been taking over. So
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
it's so cool that nowadays you can start watching CaptainSparklez, like for example, and then all of a sudden you're working for him. It's a lot of fun. The internet is so amazing. Um,
It
so
really is.
talk to me about what inspired you to make the Peepo animations.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't even remember, like especially the first one, because it's such an insane amount of work to do that. Not, and I wasn't like when I first posted that, I posted unlisted, just so I could post it on Reddit. So I wasn't expecting
Oh.
anything to come of it. And yeah, I don't even remember like what I was thinking because I put so much time into it and didn't expect anything to come out of it other than
Wow.
like a funny meme. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like it's almost like a game, like a story game or something that you get really into. You
Hmm.
just kind of keep playing it, even though it's a huge time, not waste, but it's a huge time thing. But you're so into it, you don't even realize how much time you spend on it. And animation like that takes around 100 or so hours. And I made it over the span of like 2 weeks. So like
Hmm.
more than a full-time job time commitment.
Wow.
And I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's, you don't even, you don't even think it's like, I guess the game is like the closest thing I could picture to like a game that you get addicted to and you just like without even thinking about it spend unbelievable amounts of time on it.
Yeah. The Peepo animation, like the first one, how much of it was a true story? I know that you did post the Big Schnoz post on his Reddit, and that did get a response from him. But like, did you really feel that level of upset when XQC responded that way?
No, definitely not. Yeah, people who yeah, some people took it a little like it's fine, but really seriously when it was meant all in like in good fun.
Mm.
No, I thought it was hilarious when he saw that and the way he reacted. I was dying on the other end. But yeah, I guess now that I even forgot about that. Yeah, now that you bring that up, that was I guess the big motivator to making the Peepo response, because
Hmm.
just to make this over dramatized thing, I thought that'd be really funny, especially off the high of like him seeing it and all the response to that short video.
Oh
I feel like I
yeah.
was like, yeah, there was funny motivation to like, all right, let me one up this, I guess.
Awesome. And so I'm assuming you didn't get banned in his chat then. That was
No, that
fictional.
no, that yeah, that was the only thing that was fabricated. Other than everything else was real. His response, obviously, and all that was unedited. But the ban thing was one bit of exaggeration. Yeah.
It being fabricated, I don't think takes away from the authenticity of the story. Like the way that it connected with streamers, it really made people cry. I cried, and thousands, if not other millions of people cried. I just feel like it's a beautiful love letter to like the Twitch experience and like showing how much Twitch streams can mean to someone, and that like comforting feeling, like that image of Peepo in the dark watching XQC wrapped up in the little blanket and like he's all happy. Like people relate with that so much, you know? It's
Yeah, for sure. I guess yeah, I guess I don't want to like understate the reality of that scene. So yeah,
mhm.
definitely 100%. And I guess that all that feeling I guess was there. It was just outweighed by how much how funny the whole what I mean. So it was like a way over dramatized version. But yeah, I 100% get what you mean. Yeah, I mean I know the whole like what is the term, something parasocial relationship, is that the term,
Yeah,
has
yeah.
been talked about a lot. Yeah, there's definitely like I think like less extreme forms of that can be a positive thing, like you were talking about, where it's just like it's kind of like comforting, I guess.
Talking about the sort of parasocial relationship thing, I guess, does it feel strange being just one member of a giant community and then just being washed away in the distance? Can you describe that sort of experience being a chatter, really?
Yeah, I guess I find the whole hive mind thing really funny and really that's one of my favorite parts of Twitch, is like being just one of many in this kind of like hive mind. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I've never thought about it too much, but yeah, just playing I find it fun to just play your part as one
Hmm.
of the as one tiny contribution to the 10,000 or 100,000 whatever.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was that detail at the end where Peepo was typing out, I enjoyed my stay, and then like copying and pasting it over and over again. It's just, it was such a beautiful way to tie a bow on that story, and it was just really, really beautiful, so I wanted to bring it up. But so do you watch any YouTubers or do you just watch Twitch?
Yeah, I guess not as much. Like Twitch kind of took over from like I used to watch, exclusively YouTube, but all the time I spent watching YouTube was kind of taken over by Twitch.
Hmm.
So other than the odd one-off video, no, I don't really watch YouTube like nearly that much. Yeah, like it's because it's the perfect thing to just have on. Like, I work on a computer all day, so I'm just like, it's annoying with if you're working with like 10-minute long videos where you have to constantly like find a new thing. Twitch is nice. You just throw it up there and then you can kind of do your thing while it
Hmm.
just plays, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So what kind of advice would you give to someone who wants to get into 3D animation and telling their own stories?
Yeah, this is one that I've never been able to quite I feel like a good answer to. The thing is, I think people are always looking for like a fast path. It takes a ton. Like I said, if it's something like you're super into, it's gonna take a ton of time to learn. But if it's something that you're into, like I mentioned, like a game where you can't stop even if you wanted to, then that thousand, like I've probably spent, I don't know, like literally 20,000 hours doing animation related stuff, and I still don't think I'm that good compared to some other people out there. So it's a huge time thing. But if you're really into it, you'll put in that time without even having to get an effort, because it's something like basically, I guess if you have to force it, it's probably not the right thing for you. But if it's something that you really get into, I guess just start somewhere. There's no shortcut. Like there's no fast track to some series of videos you can watch or something you can do to make it a quick process. It's going to take a long time to be able to do even the simplest of things. But if it's something you're really into, I guess you'll put in that time and you won't even notice. But as far as like where to start, everything you need to know is like out there for free. It's just a matter of just spending tons of time on Google and YouTube, finding everything you need to learn.
Yeah, film school and like art school is really getting the technical part out of the way. Is you only need YouTube for something like that. You know, it's you really got all the tools at your disposal. It's pretty amazing. Your story that you made, I feel like what made it so amazing is that you told it directly from the heart, and like the authenticity of it just spilled out like almost unconsciously. That, well, maybe not, totally unconsciously, you're obviously very brilliant, but it just hit all of the notes, and you put all of these like beautiful Easter eggs in there, like with the kickflip animation for it. Like it felt very for the Twitch community, by the Twitch community. And I feel like that's something that maybe other artists could think about as well, like when they're telling their own stories, like what is their Peepo animation,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like kind of what you said though, it comes from the heart. So if there's something that is screaming out to be made, then I guess don't ignore that and go for it.
What do you think is next for you? Do you have another big animation that you're working on right now, or are you doing commissions?
Yeah, I took a break to do some commissions. Like I said, I used to do commissions exclusively, and I kind of stopped for a while. And then I started up because I got a bunch a bunch of opportunities, which is awesome from the Peepo stuff. It kind of reminded me of why I stopped though. It's just not as fun as spending your free time, because I have like a full-time job, which takes up half the day, and the other half the day I was filling that with commissions, but I've kind of stopped accepting those because it's more fun, like I said, to do your own thing. And yes, I have a bunch of big ideas. Like I've had so many ideas doing the last few months. I have to kind of pick something concise and go with it, but it's gonna be, I don't know 100% what it'll be exactly, but I am gonna do something hopefully pretty elaborate.
Give any hints on any of the projects? Maybe not the biggest one, but like any other like just small details of cool things happening?
Yeah. So, well, the most appealing to me is something, and again, I have 100 different ideas I have to decide on, but something related to something that's a game. Because I have some programming experience as well, and I can use like, I mean, it's not terribly complicated, but I can use like Unreal. I have some experience using that, so I'd love to do some kind of story game. Of course, that's even more work than an animation, because it's animation plus interactive, gameplay stuff. So that's the most appealing, but that's also the most one of the more, on the more daunting sides to tackle. But yeah, something game related.
Awesome. That's super exciting.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to make a game. Games are such a unique art form. There's really nothing else like video games. They really combine everything together.
100%.
Yeah.
They're so hard though. It's so much harder, because like you said, it combines everything, so you have to be able to do everything. But
what was one of your favorite things to come out of the Peepo Animation saga?
I don't know. I guess it's like just all of the, I never experienced something where you get so much like flood in of just people, you know what I mean? Like, so I guess it's the attention part of it. I don't know if that sounds weird. Just reading all like I could spend literally all day just reading comments and not run out. Like that kind of thing was such an interesting experience. So I guess that would be it.
Do you think did it feel like a good thing, or was it like overwhelming, or was it negative in any way?
No, yeah, 100% felt like a good thing. I mean, obviously there's always going to be people who are like, throw out some negative stuff, but that doesn't bother me as much. Although I can see now how if that was more than 50%, that would actually be like people who get waves of hate. Like it's hard to see how that would be like.
Yeah.
But now I can understand if that was even 50% like negative stuff, that would be like that would be insane. Like even though it's like, because you always think like with internet stuff, it's like, oh, you can always just walk away from it. But the way it comes is it comes, you know, in every form. Like when I say when I say comments, I meant like just in general, like whether it be on Twitter or Reddit or whatever.
Right.
So if it was negative stuff, it would be literally coming in from all angles. But yeah, in my experience, it was 100% a positive thing.
Yeah, it's something that I feel like is very, very hard to empathize with, especially like watching streamers. Like a streamer, I see it all the time. Like a streamer will go off on a rant and on a negative comment that is in the chat, and I'm just like, you know, how hard is it to ignore it? I see some people ignore it, but when you get like the last video I posted, I got 2 negative comments on my hair, and I cut my hair yesterday for this interview. Like,
yeah, when. That's another thing. When there's even if it's only 1 out of 100, if it has some grain of like something you're already slightly insecure about, then it hits so much harder. Like than just like a random like super extreme hateful thing. It's like that doesn't really matter. But if it has like a tiny bit of like something you already had on your mind, then it's way worse.
Just me curious, people watching the interview probably won't be as interested, but what sort of like structure do you have for the creative ventures? Do you just have like your YouTube channel and like your Twitter, I believe?
Yeah. And I did some Twitch streams. I kind of neglected that for a while, but hopefully I'll get back to that shortly.
Oh,
but
yeah, you should totally do some Twitch streams. People would love like watching you animate, honestly, like just doing your commissions. Like I think that would be amazing. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I did maybe like a month worth of streams, and then I just because a lot of problems is you can't stream commissions.
Oh, true. Yeah,
it depends on, you know, obviously you can ask, but most of the time people don't want to stuff to be shared ahead of time. So
that's very, very understandable.
I ran out of stuff I could stream, so I had to like take a break for a while, but hopefully I'll have more stuff in the future that I can actually stream.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good way of like a community building and stuff like that. And do you have a Patreon, or do you just have that Ko-fi tip jar thing?
No, yeah, just that. I don't know. I felt weird making that, but yeah, that's it. I don't know. I don't really, because I don't want to set up like, I don't want to put, you know, ask for stuff from people and then put an expectation on myself. Like if you're, you know, usually Patreons, they come with tiers and then it's like an expectation thing. So I don't want to like put any obligations on myself for that kind of stuff. So if people want to give stuff, that's awesome, but you know, I really feel like they shouldn't.
yeah And I feel like you're definitely in the position where you've had so much like notoriety. Like in the future, I feel like the Peepo Animations moment, people are going to remember that. Like that was a moment in time. They're going to remember those streams if they're streamers watching it and remember those animations for a long time. So I feel like the moment that you're like, I released a game, and then it's like, oh my God, Peepo Animations guy just made a video game, everyone's going to hear about it. I think you have the social structure to support yourself really well, which is really, really cool, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, that would be a good thing. But another thing, I guess this goes back to the thing I was saying before, with like, you can make stuff, really awesome stuff, if you like, and it will get noticed too. Like if you make something really awesome, it'll get, like, you don't have to have, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, because I don't think it's like a lightning in a bottle situation with stuff like that. I think really good stuff almost never goes unnoticed. So if you make something, because this isn't like I said, I've worked with like large, I don't know, I hate saying large YouTuber because it makes like it seems like shallow, but this isn't like the first time this kind of thing has happened for me. Maybe this is definitely a different, you know, a thing of its own, but it's not the first time I've been like made something without any notoriety and then got noticed for it. So it's not something that like, it's like you get lucky and it only happens once and then that's it. If you miss it, you miss it. It's like if you do something really, really noticeable, people like, again, I don't think really amazing stuff hardly ever goes unnoticed, I guess. So for people who want to do something, if you just make it and it's actually really amazing and you put it out there, I think it'll get picked up. You don't have to worry about like having a following already or things like that. So I'm not too worried about anything like that. You know, if things fading, whatever, it's like, I feel like if I make something really awesome, I don't have to worry about, the internet will do the rest.
Amazing.
And if it doesn't, then I probably didn't make something that amazing. That's my view of it, at least.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, man. I hope you have a good day.
Thanks. Yeah, man. You too.
Hello. Hope you enjoyed this interview podcast thing. I don't know. I'm thinking about calling this a podcast. I don't know. But hope you enjoyed it. Regardless, HEYDOUBLEU'S is a really nice guy. I enjoyed talking with him a lot. Kind of want to talk to him again. There's a lot more things I wish I asked him looking back at this and watching myself ask the questions and stuff. I don't know. Improvement. We're going to do it. So maybe subscribe to watch me improve. Yeah. Thanks. Also subscribe for, people that I'm interviewing and stuff, because other creators are cool too.